The problems with Kalaripayattu. Very controversial because many people like Kalaripayattu, they are Kalari fans, including me. But many people, foreigners, people who don't know about Kalaripayattu, MMA fans, and people who practice modern martial arts like combat sports and all, they criticize Kalaripayattu. वो लोग बोलते हैं कि ये impractical है, it is impractical, too much dancing, too much jumping in the air, two legs in two directions, jumping his flips and this and that. इसका क्या use है? How will you fight in a real fight? And you don't do sparring, you are not having protective gear, you don't practice and you don't test your own techniques. Moreover, it is becoming more of a performing art. थिएटर में स्टेज के ऊपर करने वाली चीज बन के रह गई है, सब लोग बोलते हैं. और मुझे लगता है, I think they are right. Of course, not all Kalari practicing places. I'm just saying generally this martial art is going down on the effectiveness because the knowledge is going down. Knowledge is going down because there is a reason behind it. In the British time, when there were people who were capable of fighting, the Indian people who were capable of fighting, ये राजाओं की फौज जो होती थी जिनमें लोग कलरी प्रैक्टिस करते थे, और ऐसे लोग जो फाइट कर सकते हैं और गलती से इनको कोई ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वायलेंट मूवमेंट अगर किसी ने लीड कर दिया तो सरकार को यानी ब्रिटिश राज को प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. बिल्कुल हो सकती है क्योंकि लोग लड़ सकते हैं, इनको कोई बस ऑर्गेनाइज करने की देर है, प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. So what do? You ban the sport. ये जो भी था इसकी प्रैक्टिस और तलवारबाजी और लाठी और जो भी चीज ये प्रैक्टिस करते थे, जो भी युद्ध कलाएं, जो भी प्रैक्टिस मार्शल आर्ट्स और जो भी फाइटिंग होती थी वो सारी बंद कर दी गई. जो भी आदमी ये प्रैक्टिस करता था केरला में उसको जेल में डाल दिया जाता था. इट इज नॉट अलाउड टू प्रैक्टिस एंड देयर वाज अ बिग गैप. ऑल दिस टाइम नोबडी वाज अलाउड टू प्रैक्टिस दिस एंड पीपल हु न्यू द आर्ट they started passing away. और नॉलेज भी उनके साथ ही चली गई, ये राज भी उन्हीं के साथ चला गया. Now you cannot say that martial art is impractical and it is like this dancing stuff because they used to fight till death. दो बंदे लड़ेंगे, राजा महाराजा होंगे और पूरी प्रजा देख रही है, या फिर चैलेंज हो रहा है, या फिर एक प्रोग्राम है, यहाँ पे लोग देख रहे हैं और मौत भी आ सकती है. फाइटिंग में वेपन भी होंगे, सब कुछ होगा, सब कुछ होगा. In a serious fighting system like this, where somebody can die, you don't use McDojo martial arts, right? In a place where you can die, you don't use these dancing techniques. Then why does it look impractical when they are practicing? Now the thing is, they are practicing their techniques like katas, right? In karate, they have kata. For example, if I am fighting someone, I'll do some technique. And if I don't have any friends and I can't practice with the partner, what I do is to remember all these, I will make it into a choreographed dance move so I can practice that solo and understand, okay, this, that, pulling down, knee kick, all this I can practice. I don't forget to practice any of my techniques because I have organized them like a choreographed dance move, just like in our culture, so that we don't forget all the things. Everything was made into poetry. So even science and things like this, in the Indian culture, we have like poetry. Even the Ramayana and stories and big things, so that you don't forget. You made it into something very simple, you can remember and practice every day. अब ये चीज जरूरी है, लेकिन उससे पहले वाली चीज जो कि एक्चुअल टेक्निक थी जो आप पार्टनर के साथ करते हैं, वो ज्यादा जरूरी है. क्योंकि इतना सारा गैप आ गया, बहुत सारे लोग जो जानते थे असली युद्ध कला कि कैसे फाइट करना है बिना कूदे फांदे, बिना डांस करे, एक्चुअल फाइटिंग. देयर इज एन एग्जांपल. जब हम एक कलरी को विजिट करे थे, वी विजिटेड दिस कलरी एंड द मास्टर taught us something, not taught us, he just shared that with the shield, when you move the sword, it should be moving with the shield. It is not one and then you hit like this, which is how you see this in demonstrations. In Kalari demonstrations and these practicing places, you will see shield, sword, and 1, 2, 3, 4. The thing is, in real warfare, it has to be covered. and the sword moves with the shield so that you are safe. And it's like a defense and attack at the same time, which is very hard to block or penetrate. ये असली एक्सपीरियंस से आता है. अगर आप में असली में प्रैक्टिस किया है किसी के साथ, तब आपको पता चलेगा कि ऐसे करने में ये अगर मिस हो गया, देन आई एम ओपन, तो मुझे इसके साथ मूव करना पड़ेगा. यानी कि ये असली एक्सपीरियंस से आने वाली स्किल या नॉलेज थी, जो लोगों को अभी भी आती है, लेकिन बहुत लोग भूल चुके हैं. सो ये असली नॉलेज को रिवाइव करने के लिए सबसे पहले, टू सॉल्व एनी प्रॉब्लम, वी नीड टू एक्नॉलेज दैट देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. द प्रॉब्लम इज वी आर लूजिंग रियल टेक्निक्स. द प्रॉब्लम इज वी आर नॉट स्पारिंग. When a martial art like Kali or Filipino martial arts, when they are fighting with sticks, they are using the helmets and the body, the chest guard and the whole body and the forearms, they're wrapping it up, and then they are sparring with the sticks so that they know what works and what doesn't work. Why can't we also adapt these new technologies like the helmet and like the protective gear? Why can't we change with time and make the techniques and make our practitioners better? Nobody is doubting the technique, nobody is doubting the tradition. Everybody knows that an old ancient Kalari practitioner who was a part of the army in Kerala could beat the hell out of anyone. Everybody knows this. But to keep that real knowledge, that real technique, that real skill alive, because this and knee kick, we don't see that anymore. So this is one suggestion. Start sparring. Sparring can be dangerous. Use protective gear. The second problem is nobody questions the techniques, nobody questions the practical application of this. Because Kalaripayattu is very spiritual, which is the best part about it. If you just practice Kalari, you'll see that your internal and your external, your physical body will be like the best. In the sense, it is about making your physical body to that ultimate nature, right? It is possible with Kalari and with the blessings and with the sacred place in which they practice. But there is one problem with it. The instructor has not sparred in years and he is out of shape, and maybe nobody questions him because the art is so spiritual, the instructor becomes a god. Which is good, but not every time. So am I saying the whole thing is wrong? No. The whole thing has a missing piece. That is the actual ancient knowledge. Just like our history, it has a missing piece. It is translated by Britishers. So the thing is, let us go back to reality and let us try to connect these two things, the history, the actual techniques, the actual warfare knowledge, and modern day practices like sparring, modern day protective gear, and put that together, make it into a sport so that your practitioners have a better experience. When Kalari practicing boy goes to a boxing gym, he doesn't get beaten up. Let's accept the fact that we are moving from a martial art to a more performance art. Of course, I can punch, I can kick. And if I look cool while doing it, that's good. But I look cool while doing it, but I don't know how to do it on a person. Now this is wrong, right? So there should be real knowledge on how to apply the techniques on a person, and then looking good while doing it is also good. Sparring, using protective gear, and trying to find out more about the ancient knowledge. Keeping an open mind, and not going about this is my martial art, that is your martial art, this is my club, that is your club. Open mind, new ideas, changing with time, and believing in your culture will make Kalari great again. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and press the bell icon.
Imagine the country you live in being hit by less and less fertile soil, making crop growing increasingly difficult.
Sandstorm conditions prevail in the Indian capital, and now there are fears of early desertification of the region.
This is 45 to 60 years is what we have agricultural soil. We are calling this as soil extinction. You've heard of dinosaurs going extinct, you have heard of dodos going extinct, but this is soil extinction is what we are looking at. The real problem is soil extinction because in the last 30 years, 80% of the biomass insects have disappeared from the planet. 80%. This is a suicide. This is a real suicide. So in 45 years' time or 50 years' time, there will be serious food crisis on the planet, it's inevitable. When food crisis comes, well, whoever has the biggest guns will come and take the food. And the chaos and the suffering that we will create for populations around the world is unimaginable. So what are we going to do?
So it's very, very important that soil becomes the focus, because if you put 1/3 to 40% of the land, especially in the tropical world, under tree shade, your climate change could be easily reversed. As a part of this, we are unfolding a movement called Conscious Planet to bring maximum number of people